I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tracy Malekar is here tonight. She can start by addressing council.
So here, first of all, I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. And, I always like to start off with a thank you to everyone, because it's because of your support, the levies, welcoming people in the community, that the citizens of Medina County with developmental disabilities are successful. What I've handed out here is two things: a map of services and our 2023 annual report. This past year, in 2023, we served a little over 1,450 individuals in Medina County, and that's from birth to end of life. Once someone is part of our organization or eligible for services, it is a commitment for life with them. I can tell you that the latest census is we're just over 1,500. So it continues to grow. There continues to be a need. One of the areas where we see the highest amount of growth in need is with early intervention, and that's 0 to 3. And we go in and we provide OT, PT, those supports in the home so that the families and the child are successful, which is really important. A couple things I want to highlight real quick from 2023. Real exciting. We partnered with the Career Center, the Medina County Career Center. We started a DSPU class, DSP, Direct Support Professionals. And we had students that actually wanted to be part of learning how to work with people with developmental disabilities. So through this past year, they took coursework. They are now certified under the state to provide services, so they can go out and work with any provider. They can be an independent provider, and they have the credentials they need. More importantly, they got to do some internships. So they worked with us at our school. We have a school, we serve about 50 children. And then there were 2 individuals, and then we had 2 that went to work with, I want to say, with society. And so they got hands-on experience, and it was a great success. Rumor I'm hearing, we're looking at maybe 10, 12 people next year that want to do it. So it's really exciting to bring some young people into the field where they could potentially maybe stay a little while and help out, or maybe have a career. But it's really nice to have that. So we're real excited about that. The other thing that we're excited about is we started the Leadership Academy. One of the things with the last biennial budget that the governor put in place is that he mandated that all county boards, we have to have a board of 7 individuals, that we have to have at least 1 individual on there that is eligible for services. It always been in there that it was an either or that you could, but now they've mandated it. Which is wonderful. So we started this leadership program working with individuals and talking about what does it mean to be a leader in a community? How do you prepare a resume? What do you want to do? Who are the players that you want to talk to? And it's just one way of preparing someone to step on our board. But it's also giving them some knowledge and some ideas, like where can they go in their community? I know we have one gentleman on there that's really set on being on the fair board. It's really big to him. So he's been working on that, and we're hoping to see him this year. So it's been a great program, really great stuff. The other quick thing I will mention is our Project Open House. We have partnered with a couple, with 4 actually, daycares, 2 are agencies and 2 are in home. And one of the difficult things for children that have developmental disabilities is being part of that daycare program. And there's some differences that people have to learn to work with them so that they're successful. A lot of times when there's problems, you'll see, well, we can't serve these kids. You got to find somewhere else. And that just puts a bigger burden on the family. So we're real excited. We worked with these 4 groups and brought them into our preschool, gave them some tips and tricks. The biggest thing is really just having them understand what a child with developmental disabilities, what they need. and that it's really not that far off the other typical kids. It takes that fear out of it, it gives that knowledge and confidence. So it's just one step that we're going to continue to build so that we find ways to get people out in the community so that they're successful, so that the community's successful and comfortable with partnering with people. So that was my, quick elevator, probably a little longer than an elevator, probably up and down. I pushed the up and the down button at the same time on that one. Are there any questions I can answer for you?
That's great stuff you're doing.
Thanks.
How long have you been superintendent? Stacy?
6 years, only 6 years, as far as you believe. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
That was the curse.
Do you take volunteer quotas?
Yes, volunteers, yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in volunteering, we've got this, we also have our webpage. We'd love to have people come out. There's a lot of different things. There's Special Olympics, there's stuff in the schools, all kinds of things to get involved with. Yeah.
Thanks for coming tonight. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Yes.
For having me.
Absolutely.
Anyone else want to address council?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I would like to address council. So I'm sure you guys remember us.
Remember, just state your name though.
So my name is Elisa Bernardo Nelson. I reside in 8897 Hillcrest Drive along with my husband, Sean Nelson. And as the property adjacent to the Bideman Lake, we recently had the opportunity to have the Medina SWCD to evaluate our lake issue. And this report contradicts what we talked previously and the solution given by the Westfield Village as stated in this study and report. So I'll make it as brief as possible, but I would like to read what they gave us from the study in the report. So on April 12, 2024, 2 employees of Medina County Soil and Water Conservation District came out to our property to evaluate drainage and sediment concerns that it's addressed to us, so that you had regarding the pond that is shared by you and your neighbors. Staff included Abby Coslow, which is the person that wrote the letter, Jim Smith, Medina County's SWCD's watershed education specialist and district technician respectively. Your concerns seem to focus on the quantity of water and sediment that are received by the neighborhood pond of roughly 1.3 acres from a watershed of roughly 211 acres. Jim and I briefly covered Ohio's drainage law with you, which stipulate that water must be received onto a property if it follows the direction it would naturally flow. The water that comes from the pond seems to follow the direction of natural flow. However, we have not been able to obtain requested storm sewer plans from the Westfield Center to confirm this at the time that the letter was written. Going off the assumption that the pond is receiving only water from its watershed, Jim and I went over some points with you. You mentioned that the village offered to connect the drainage culverts that drain into the pond and then fill in the pond over the connecting culvert that would drain off the property. This is an option. However, it is not the best option for conservation and environmental purposes, which I believe we did mention that. Streamlining and speeding up stormwater through culverts tends to lead to erosion and flooding downstream. Allowing stormwater to spread out over a large area allows sediments to drop, velocity to slow, groundwater to replenish, and prevents erosion and flooding downstream. So for these reasons, it would be best to keep this area functioning as a pond instead of confining runoff to a culvert. Also, keeping the pond could allow wildlife species access to a more diverse habitat, providing another environmental benefit. And another option mentioned was to let the pond accept water and sediment as it does currently. And this option will lead to part of the pond to become more of a wetland area, which is part of the concern you expressed. to protect the surrounding area and downstream area and to allow for the recreation that you and your neighbors enjoy. It said enjoy, but we're not enjoying it yet. We discussed dredging the northeast side of the pond. Most of the sediment is dropped at this section of the pond, and since there is the culvert, and since this is where the culvert enters the pond and the water velocity changes. So again, it's talking about to protect the surrounding area of the downstream area and to allow for recreation that we could enjoy. They're talking about the northeast side of the pond, which we already have our own pond there. So it would be looking like a little hot tub next to our own pond. But that's another solution, they gave it to us. But so the letter continues saying, we mentioned that you may look into Ohio EPA rules for how to use, dispose of, or incorporate dredged material correctly. The main concern was that the dredged material, if placed incorrectly, could re-enter the pond and create the same issues that it currently causes or pollute downstream waters. One other area we looked at was the northwest side of your property where the culvert from 16700 Arlington Drive enters your property through a channel. Channels have the tendency to speed up water and often don't allow sediment to drop out. So allowing some of the water from this channel to exit into your property may help protect the neighborhood pond. However, since you were unsure if this channel belongs to or is maintained by the Westfield Center Village, we recommend that you do not alter without getting that information or any permits or written permissions that you may need first. We did mention how having the trees along the side of the channel is environmentally beneficial. Any improvements to this pond can lead to improvements to the Westfield Center Village parcel 044228061147, which I was very vehement about it last time, and onto which this pond drains. Also, leaving this area as a pond instead of confining it to a culvert may help protect Camel's Creek water quality and habitat. So they also leave their phone number here if you guys want to take a look at it, and sign sincerely, Abby Coslow.
Could we get a copy? Would you send us a
Yeah,
copy of that? I have that one. Okay, sure. Okay. Well, thanks for coming tonight. We appreciate it.
Well, we are waiting on a schedule from, who is it again, baby? You know it better.
FEMA and EPA.
Yeah, we're waiting for them to let us know when they're coming over to help us figure out how to work with this. You guys saw the pictures, and it's getting worse and worse. And right now we're just trying to work through that. And we are all willing to keep trying and try to figure out a better solution based on what has been studied.
Okay. Thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Take your time thinking about it, but please take that letter into consideration.
Okay. Appreciate getting it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Just council? Nobody? Okay. Move into the regular meeting. I have a motion to accept the council minutes from April 2.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Payment of bills?
Second.
Any changes, Debbie, or any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? BPA bills are there for your information. Can I have a motion to accept the fiscal officer's monthly financial reports?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, first order of business, it's in your packet is the letter to the Westfield Woods contiguous property owners. Everybody's had a chance to have some input into that. Once I had pretty much everything, I gave it to Greg Oakes and he wrote the crux of the letter. Then it went to the law director who shaped it up. And I would say it's ready to go unless there's any big time problems with that. We moved it to 2 full pages. You couldn't get it on one, so spread it out on 2. Everybody okay with that? Okay.
How many actual people will be receiving this?
I didn't count them up yet.
It's like
Everybody got
50-ish.
into that, yeah.
Might be a little north of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyone that's contiguous, right, I mean, because it's not only Westfield Road.
It's Westfield, it's Grant.
Groton, Westfield Road, Highland.
Yeah, we'll get a list.
When in doubt, send them a letter. That makes it easy. If there's a doubt, yeah.
Actually, I thought they had a list created.
There is a list.
I think it's.
It's in the,
I thought I remember seeing
county
it.
communication.
Okay. Chrissy could look there and start with it and into that. Okay, I just put these on Memorial
We
Day.
need a motion for this?
I think we do.
I was just.
You want a motion for, you want a council approval on that letter?
It sure doesn't hurt anything. I don't know if you could use one.
Give me a motion in a second. Approve that letter.
Motion to approve the letter as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we'll all get in trouble together. Memorial Day celebration.
Things are moving forward. We've had notifications out to participants from last year. Grand Marshal, we have a guest speaker. We're ready to go.
Okay, any questions for on this from anybody?
Who's Grand Marshal?
Nate Weber from the condos, and Aaron's going to be our guest speaker.
Oh,
Not much of a guess. I am coming from out of town, so technically it checks that box.
oh, brother. I did it a couple of times.
The Navy and lives here in the village, so.
Okay. The car show, it's on there for any, but the only thing I have is to be sure it needs to get in cruising times real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too late to get it in June, but I would try. And last year it didn't get until August, I think, and I know a lot of people were asking me whether, we were gonna have it or not, but that's the only thing that comes to my mind. Anybody got anything else on the car show?
The only thing, and some really good minutes and information from last year, we had discussed the potential of having a couple
Village residents, if
the added to the committee as well. And I didn't see that in the minutes, but I wanted to make sure we reached out to some folks of interest or found some folks of interest.
we were comfortable with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, that would be great.
Take all the help we can get.
Yeah, great idea. Yes. Anything else on the car show?
We had the parking agreement with Westfield. That's something you probably need to
Yeah,
take
it's
all
in
the
there.
way.
Yeah, we need to get
So,
that.
maybe I'll send that same one over to them.
The Kirk,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, if you do that, that would be great. Good. Yeah, that's critical. Anything else on the car show?
Oh, you know, it's fine.
We'll
We'll determine.
What do we got, a little
We'll get-
sidebar
we'll
going
get-
here?
We'll get together with Chrissy on the
Date and time, get together,
Yeah.
meeting.
Cruising time's the only
Cruising
thing I
time,
think
for
that
sure.
is time out that you need to worry about. Most everything else is right at the end. Okay, item 3, Debbie, audit.
The state reached out, they are getting ready to do the audits for 22-23. You may receive emails from probably Corey Smith He's the lead auditor.
Already did.
Just him? Oh, okay, so that's coming up.
If you do get one, it's better to call him than try to email it back. Because he'll go over the questions with you on the phone.
You the only one that got one?
Yes. I thought it was spam.
Is it the fraud, is it
Like, who is
the
this guy?
questionnaire that he sent you? Was it the?
Well, yeah, and I thought it was a spam, and then all of a sudden my phone rang, and he said they've been having problems, and I said, is this legit? He said, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, he just started asking some.
How long ago did you get that?
2 weeks ago?
I haven't.
They have expanded the number of people who get those questionnaires, but I don't know, and I can look into it if you'd like me to. And I'm not sure if everybody on council will get one,
What?
or if it'll just, maybe it just goes to you as the,
I got called last week, or the last,
You send me a copy of the questionnaire from this time or last time, just so wrap my head around it in case we get called.
I mean, you certainly.
Yeah, I got it.
Share, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, all set? Yeah, that's it.
Still no opportunity for private auditors, huh?
I haven't researched it that much,
That you might ask.
maybe, yeah.
Okay. Item 5, the Western Reserve Conservancy has.
I missed the spaghetti dinner.
Oh, I did that, I'm sorry.
He wanted pork chops instead, I don't know.
Dave, why don't you say something to that, why it's on here?
We're doing this all-you-can-eat spaghetti dinner. The association is at the fire station next Saturday, the 18th, from 4 PM to 7 PM. I gave Debbie a flyer to make sure that she had it. I think it's salad, roll. And I apologize, I've been tied up in a class, so this hasn't been on my radar. Salad, roll, spaghetti, white sauce, red sauce, and garlic breadsticks, I believe.
So adults are one price, and then
Kids are another price.
kids are another price, 3 to 10 or 12, and
Something
then
like that.
under 2, there's free. Who's been elected policeman?
Whoever
Maybe
takes
2 or
mine,
3.
I guess, or somebody walks in and says he's two,
I
who
understand.
am I to question?
It's pretty cool to try to keep the fire department on.
Okay, hopefully we can all be there. Now the Western Reserve Conservancy sponsorship event. Val and I think Terry some have been involved. I know Val has. Val and I have talked.
The event, I'm more with the
With the letter.
letter in the ground, so.
Okay, so Val, fire away.
About a week and a half ago, met with Jacob Prees from the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. And I believe this was mentioned a couple meetings back, that council would like to use our park to help host a private catered event. They're targeting for July, and this is to celebrate the Land Conservancy's work in the southern portion of the service area for 2023. In addition, the Conservancy is grateful to highlight the recently completed project of Westfield Woods with a short hike and perhaps very brief speeches. It would be who they would like to invite are all current Western Reserve Land Conservancy Board of Trustees members, anyone who has attended an educational hike event that has accumulated giving of $100 or more over the past 12 months, major donors selected by staff managers, mayor and council members, and conservation easement landowners in the region. And in talking with the mayor, kind of boils down to, I think the thing that we need to discuss is, do we allow the Conservancy to host this private event at Westfield Park? If yes, do we ask them to include Greg Oak's family trust members, a representative from Westfield Insurance Company? And then should this event include the easement landowners, or should the village host a community-wide event? So I think those are the issues that we need to discuss today.
Am I correct? Because I asked you asked Jacob to be here and
Yeah.
he said he would not come.
Well, he said, I'll give you the information. I don't have the time to make it.
Well, I'll express my concerns. We have an event out there to all about this great thing that happened, which it is. And we invite certain people in town and other people not. My question was, how do we have an event like that and not invite Nita Weaver, for example, who was on council for about 30 years, who is active in all kinds of things? I mean, I question anything that doesn't open the whole town, because
Mayor, in my conversations with Sarah, I did not talk to Jacob. This is an opportunity. They're beyond this with Westfield Village. This event is all about the land conservatory, their next project, showing the success of this one, and looking for both the state folks that will be there and local political partners to support them in future endeavors. And as much as we, I think, anticipated this to be a celebration of this property, I think we were misinformed, or we have interpreted incorrectly. This is all about the land conservatory and doing whatever they can do to set up the next project, not be looking to celebrate our project.
so the residents on Grant Drive who were on the 44 acres, they get an invitation, and their neighbors across the street do not.
I believe that is the case. I guess it's, they're throwing the party, so they're sending the invites.
Right, but they're throwing a party on our turf, and we're the ones who stand for what happens there.
So, so Terry, if I understand right, this isn't a party about the 44 acres we got. It's about all the stuff that they've done over the last, I don't know how many years.
The past year, and then I think like
Why
what,
have it here? Why don't they have it in a county facility?
I think this is the biggest
And this
one
is-
they've done, and I think we're a,
feather in
I'm
their
just
cap.
afraid-
we're a gem.
I'm just afraid that we're gonna end up looking like the bad guys. Because this was, we did this for the benefit of the village, and now we just had a party and a celebration. And they're not gonna know, because they're not gonna be there what all happened, but, they're gonna be looking at it going, yeah, that's pretty nice, the village did this, but,
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm just trying to say, hey, let me paint the picture of that I got. And I'm getting from them about this.
What would be their problem with it open to just anybody in town who wanted to come?
and that could, I mean, we could go back and ask them that. I know that they do a catered event, and it's not hamburgers and hot dogs. So I don't think that we could say, hey, open it up to the village where we could potentially get maybe 400, 500 people. They probably do not have a budget to cover something like that. So we would have to look at, if we want to do something, do we say no food, or do we say, hey, we'll cover the cost of hamburgers and hot dogs and get grills out there and do that? I just don't see us going back to the Conservancy and saying, hey, we're going to invite, and at the end of November, we can get 300 people for tree lighting. I can't imagine what we could get for a nice day.
So what if they have their speaking part, all of their part at the beginning, and then we call it a community open house after like 3 p.m. Like set a date and it becomes a community open house, so they can do their thing, but on that same day, the community is also invited, where they eat first or something. Like, let's go back to them and suggest that, like, it is our community, we want to help celebrate. We will be there with whatever their guest list is at the beginning, but let's open it up to community, see if they'd be willing to do that at the end.
We can't- things like
Where do
that.
you think they'd be if we split the concessions with them?
I would say, I can't guess for
Or
what
do
they
they
would
just
say,
not
but I'd
want
like to
the
go
people
back.
there? do you think? Do you think it's, they just don't want the people there? Or do you think they'd open up if we split the concessions?
Well, I haven't been to one of these, but it does strike me, that Val's point, that they have a targeted audience for what they're trying to do, and it probably, we're talking about who in the village is gonna be invited. I would bet that's a guest list that extends outside, not just the village limits, probably also the county limits. People that they're trying to attract to pursue their mission with. And so it probably isn't just about being private, as it's about being a certain size and.
And for it to be nice, is that you are wooing and that type of thing, yeah.
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Like,
they've got a vision in their mind.
yeah, they're looking at state representatives from the local area that would, are gonna help, that help put funds in the budget so that they can always have a place to go in the state budget, and working along those lines, so.
And I'm looking at telling these two people here, they didn't get invited because they just didn't get invited. They
They're
weren't
wrong,
on the
right,
property.
living on the wrong side of town. I don't disagree with you, Mayor, but all I'm saying is that's what they're saying.
Well,
They're beyond us.
maybe they're beyond us, but we're here.
Yeah,
We're here.
I don't.
So I think it boils down to, do we just tell the Conservancy that, we would prefer that they not host their event here? And then if we want to do something for the community, then we do it as the,
I don't know if we need something. There's been a lot out, but certainly if there's something going, it needs to be open to the
I would be in
community.
favor of telling them that this, we're just concerned of the ramifications of this and it being taken the wrong way. And we appreciate all their efforts and stuff, but this could backfire on us.
backfire on
Because
us.
this isn't,
Okay.
let's go back. We know there's 50 or 60, let's just say there's 50 or 60 people. But everybody on the west side of Westfield Road isn't getting invited, but the east side is. Everybody on the west side of Grant and Highland are getting invited, but the east side isn't. And conversely, north,
I mean, this is a way for them to generate revenue. This is a fundraiser.
Well, that's what it was at the D. O'Neill's.
I mean, when
Basically.
we got invited down to D, when Dee donated all that land to the park district put this big hoop on. And that's what it was, I mean, they were out there passing stuff out here. Don't forget about signing up, making donations and all this and that.
two different organizations operating differently.
I think we're trying to do two different things. I think they're trying to do one thing, and what we're wanting is totally different.
Well, I think we want to celebrate the fact that we acquired this and so on and so forth. And I mean, we've had some great communication that's come out about it. I don't even know how you celebrate it because you can't go, I mean, you can go walk it, but I mean, there's nothing there to, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a wooded area. I mean, it's
Probably a dedication of some sort, and something to acknowledge that happened, and here it is, and it's gonna be here for the future, and there'll be other plans to come, but it's not, that's not what they're talking. They're talking about, this is one piece of a bigger picture of things that we do in the whole region. And so, those two things aren't the same.
They're not.
I don't appreciate Jacob wouldn't come here tonight and talk, but that's the way it's been with Jacob. And this thing from start to finish.
Where does that leave us?
Leaves us telling them that, I think it was said, we don't want an event that,
Doesn't include the entire village.
yeah,
Okay, we'll see what they say.
yeah. See if they were, is council willing to split the food with them if that's their big hang-up?
I
Well,
don't know
they-
that I want to go
I
down
don't
that
know.
I
road.
don't even know.
Okay,
I don't need to.
okay, I just,
I'm just.
Well, we don't, and actually, we don't, if you get into logistics of it, how are we gonna put 400, how are we gonna put
Cars.
400 cars in the park? I mean,
I don't even know how you would pull that together because you're not gonna, I mean, you're gonna send all these, you're gonna have to send invites out to every resident. And how are we gonna know who's coming and who's not? How do you plan for
or you're
something
not,
like
you're
That's
not.
why you just don't have
It's,
food.
It's like an open house.
Yeah,
There'll be
which
a
is-
certain number of
which
hours.
They're gonna want.
I mean,
food, so
I would
we're
say
gonna-
we don't do anything until we build the first trail up there. And then we have a dedication where people can actually get on the trail and
it.
walk through the whole
And maybe
property
have a
and stuff like
pavilion.
that. But right now,
Well, now you're getting
it's
crazy.
just a big vacant wooded area that you really.
But if they do that and we do what's been said, then there is a party going there and we're not opening it up to everybody. We're having to, who wants to keep explaining to everybody in town who wasn't there why certain people got there? I mean, it's gonna take some explaining. If we, or maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm dreaming. Looks to
I
me like,
guess maybe the first question to them, did you ask if the whole village would be invited, if that's even open? Maybe it's random and it would be open and they'll say, well, absolutely, they're invited. So that'd be my first question, because we see that as being
Well,
an
I
issue.
mentioned that and they said, "Well, it's a private event."
Okay, then that answers that.
I mean, I could go back and say the only way that we'll agree to it is that it's open for everyone in the village.
if you want to push it the other way, if you didn't invite anybody on the property, then we'd be inviting no one in the village. And then you do make it more private. I mean, I don't know if that's an answer or not.
Well, I did ask, well, how many are you anticipating? And he said about 40 to 50 people. So,
Well, if they've sent it to all the people who are on it, that's 100 people right there.
well, they haven't sent, I don't know if they were thinking about how many people they'd be sending that were,
There's probably 50 residents on there,
yeah.
so.
I mean, we could go back and say it's best if you don't send to anyone and it's just a true private event.
Somebody wants to have a private picnic in our park.
That's what I was thinking.
There's a form they have to fill out to do it. And they don't invite them.
That would be
They don't
different.
invite a bunch of people. They just put it on, they just rent the park, whatever they have to do, they do their thing and we're out of it. Somebody here is, asked, hey, you can come and be a representative and.
It's a different birthday party.
Correct.
Okay.
No different than a birthday
That would
party.
be reasonable, wouldn't it?
I mean, I
I
think
think
that's
that's
the
very-
best way to
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah, we cut it back so that it's just.
Send out invites to
Yeah,
everybody.
you might have some council mayor, people like that, if they want to have.
You're
but
not gonna
I-
get
I'd
invited
rather,
down
I'd rather not even be there.
They're gonna say, how about the mayor? Ah, no.
They just erased your name.
I haven't exactly supported it, have I? Done? But,
Oh, my.
Okay, so now you.
So is that where it leaves us? Just tell them,
Have
remove
their
all or
private
nothing.
event,
private event.
and
basically.
don't invite the people don't invite part of the town,
Right,
you
right.
know, just,
Have your dignitaries there.
and yeah, do with your dignitaries and be done with it, yes.
No.
And August 10th is out, if somebody else already has the building up there, I don't know how much parking will be left over, so.
Okay. Yeah, Chrissy was gonna look at the baseball schedule so that they don't do it at a time whether it's baseball. So,
I understood they wanted to go clear over in the old section.
in the old ball field.
The old, that's a pretty good hike from the parking area. Unless they come in from Westfield Road.
Well,
We'll let them figure.
walk-
Is that
yeah, walk
parking
with-
lot still off of Westfield Road?
They'll figure it,
yeah,
they'll figure it
hey,
out. They'll figure it
they're
out.
park people, we gotta
If there's
figure it
something
out.
they're capable of doing, it's hiking.
Well, is there any other new or old business? Oh, yes, fire away.
So, last night I was at the fire district meeting and, they have not, I really don't have anything to report other than they haven't done anything. They're still trying to put together what the millage, is that they're going to be asking for. They're still putting together numbers. They're working with their fiscal officer. I stressed to them that, I mean, they have to file by November. Or not November, August, or election in November. So, they've got to get some urgency around it. But they said they're gonna be working on it. So, but I don't know. They haven't scheduled any work sessions. They haven't scheduled any learning sessions to educate voters on why they need stuff and.
Was that what the meeting was for, strictly that, or was?
Well, no, it was their bi-monthly fire district meeting. I just went there for the purpose of finding out if there was any levy update, so I could bring it back to council, and really it hasn't. They really haven't done anything.
What percent of Westfield employees are back in the office now?
100% are in 3 days a week. So the people that are supposed to be back in Westfield are there mandatory 3 days a week. Now since COVID though, they've had complete departments 100% out, they work from home now. So the actual number I don't know, but I just know the people that are supposed to be in the office were mandated to come in 3 days a week.
Any other old or new business?
I don't really have anything to report, in which road salt projects are moving along, on schedule. And just to remind you guys that the PWC application this summer is going to be for the, applying for covering the engineering costs on that project. But there's no new news on anything.
The report for April, we had 3 reports, 9 calls for service, 2 officer initiated calls for a total of 11. We had 1 crash in the village, 30 officer generated citizens assists. We only had 3 vacation watches. We had 4 assists to the Westfield Fire Department, 8 to the Medina County Sheriff's Office, 2 to the Lodi Police Department for a total of 14. We had 4 traffic stops, no criminal arrests, 2 warnings and 2 citations.
We had a total of 55 calls for the month of April. 44 of them were on day shift between 8 AM and 8 PM. And 11 were between 8 PM and 8 AM. We had mutual aid to Canaan Township once, Guilford 3 times, Harrisville Township 3 times, Lodi Village once, Seville Village once. We had 40 calls in Westfield Township and 6 inside of Westfield Village. And a couple educational notes. We had 3 people just complete the fire inspector class, and they take their test, state test tomorrow night. And we had 1 complete, he's firefighter 1, and he takes his state test tomorrow night. And Chief Hall and myself became credentialed this month, or last month, with the Ohio Fire Chief credentialing, or credential. And what that is we submitted a packet of information to the Ohio State Fire Chiefs Association. And they have an independent body do a peer review on that information. And then they issue the credential based on your experience, training, and years of service. So we both have that credential now. And eventually we will work towards all the fire officers having the same, not the same certification, but Ohio Fire Officer certification. So that's gonna bring up our credentials a little bit. And still have 5 people in medic school. And they're doing well, and they should be done the end of August. And Rick, was there anything else that you mentioned last night?
No, but I just want to call it, you're the only assistant chief to have those credentials in the county?
The county, and there's 3 fire chiefs in the county, active fire chiefs in the county that have the certification, and Chief Hall is one of them.
That's good to know.
So, thank you.
We appreciate your guys' professionalism.
And just so you know what we're raising money for with the spaghetti dinner. And I did pass out a flyer for the golf outing just so that you had the information that's out there. A new thermal imaging camera and battery operated Genesis tools to replace the current tools that we have now that are run off of a generator or hydraulic. And also a skid unit for our UTV that will do both fire and EMS services. So we'll be able to access at remote areas with that to either be able to fight a grass fire, move people, or if somebody would fall out of a tree stand somewhere on a farm, we can go out and get them and bring them out to the road. So that's what we're raising money for, just so that you have that background also.
Any other questions for Dave? Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Fitzmayer.
April's superintendent report, we processed 8.68 million gallons of wastewater, filed the monthly EPA reports, performed all the required and operational testing, all routine the equipment maintenance, and we replaced the drive on the sludge press. Here at Village Hall, we serviced the lighting system, worked on the landscaping and opened up the fountain. The streets, performed maintenance on all our equipment, moved all the village properties. We did purchase a new 1-ton GMC. We cleaned storm drains, performed nuisance animal control, and we removed the dead tree from the Delta Strip on Highland. We had no activity at the cemetery. Parks, we're prepping ball fields, and we repaired the countertop on a concession stand. And zoning, I issued a couple rents.
Questions for Dave?
Thanks for getting, this is crazy, the raccoons, there was raccoons and I think a squirrel or something that was roadkill this morning or something. Yeah. You were fast, you were fast because there was vultures everywhere, it was a hot mess getting out of town. I called him like, help. So thanks.
What killed them all?
Not me, I did not hit them.
Okay, mayor's report, mayor's court, I did have one tonight, hasn't been processed yet. No communications, no concerns, law director.
We had talked, Debbie and I talked about a couple things with some banking issues that are on the radar, nothing imminent. And then also I will keep an eye out for a copy of the letter that was shared this evening. And probably maybe connect with you folks offline, just to gather some of that, add it to my file that I've got going on that, so.
I'll see everybody. Okay.
That's great.
Anything else?
Everything that's on my way here.
Okay, council comments and concerns, Mr. Bittner,
None this evening.
Ms. Connick,
Nothing.
Ms. Nab,
Nothing, thank you.
Oak's not here, Mr. Robs,
Nothing.
Mr. Walkup. No executive session, next regular meeting is June 4th, and can I have a motion to adjourn? Second. Favor?
Bye.